As a stage actor, it's kind of sad to think about the future. At least for me, I'm met with feelings of deep and bitter hopelessness because I look forward even a year from now and I don't feel like the theater industry is going to be back in full force by then. So I think within a year, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing now, which is using technology to the best of my abilities and coming up with new and innovative ways to make and share my art with the resources that I have. Maybe not being able to be with other people, but still being able to create together. And yeah, I'm just hoping that I can stay positive and continue to be inspired to create.
I don't think any of us could have predicted this happening a year ago, but now that we find that tomorrow isn't guaranteed, I think a lot of people have been surprised by that. And although I can't predict what next year is going to look like, I suspect a lot fewer people will be taking their time, their liberty, and their health for granted. They won't be waiting for the right moment to go visit that friend or accomplish that goal, visit that place, or go to that concert. I think that people will remember that the coronavirus robbed them of that opportunity, and we will take care to never squander it again.
You know, these are interesting times. This COVID-19 stuff, quarantine. Before all this stuff, I traveled to a different city every week, you know, complete nomad. I was just traveling everywhere, all over the world, and now I'm actually stuck in one place. I can't go anywhere. I miss it. I miss living at hotels. I miss being in a different city. I miss the gym. I'm very introverted, but I miss people that I want to hang out with that I'm not able to because they're quarantined in a different city, different state, and it's just, it does suck right now, you know. But it is what it is.
Feeling overwhelmed with fear and anxiety comes easy for me. The unknown scares the daylights out of me, and severe anxiety as well as addiction are struggles that I'm faced with on a daily basis. COVID-19 just added a really thick layer blocking that sunlight from my life, my recovery, and bringing in so much more anxiety. Change is super scary for me, and not having my live meetings to go to where I'm surrounded with fellowship and people who I can communicate with and talk about my struggles on a daily basis has been challenging for me. I'm so thankful for online apps and that I can stay connected with people, because connection has been key for me in my life. Keeping my life simple and staying in the moment and being able to focus on what's really important in my life, and that is my recovery and my family. And luckily, I'm also able to continue with my therapist online, and just getting into nature helps me feel grounded. Taking walks or riding bikes with my kids helps me to remember all that I have and appreciate my life today. I'm so thankful for everything that I have, and all I can do is remember to stay in each day, and this day will pass, and I'm doing the best that I can.
The disbelief. That's that's the part that boggles me. Like, I've never known a time in history where people can hear from like every news source that the thing is out there, it's a big thing, there are people dying, and people still don't believe it. Like, regardless of what a lot of things say, like, forget the news that's like this side of the news likes this side of the news that's that, but there's still a lot of people that are saying, it's not real, it's a hoax, and how much information is needed? Like, I don't think this was what it was at any other time in history. Like, nobody said 9/11 was a hoax. They said a lot of stuff about it, but they didn't say that it was a hoax. They didn't say other stuff like Pearl Harbor was made up, And with this worldwide pandemic that's got people dying all over the place, people still are denying it, and I just don't get that.
My name is Melinda, and I left America because of COVID. I've been in America for 4 years up till now, and I never really expected to leave so soon. But the virus really exposed all of my vulnerabilities being an immigrant in a foreign country. I know a lot of my friends who are on visas now are facing a very unpredictable and scary future. For me, the turning point was waking up at 4 a.m. and just having this massive panic attack, thinking that I cannot let myself die alone in a foreign country. It's a really bad time now, and I think America has dealt with this situation not in the best way. I'm currently in Singapore, where things are a lot smaller, more under control, and I feel very fortunate to have this way out, but I miss my old life, and I don't think I will get that back.
I am having the most insane dreams right now, and I saw on National Geographic that having vivid, unusual dreams during this pandemic is like a thing. But man, it's exhausting. I'm waking up every night, multiple times a night, just jolting awake with these nightmares, and they're crazy. I'm either, flubbing a giant audition, or I'm fighting dinosaurs in space, or I have to get to this briefcase, and if I don't get to it, then the car is gonna leave me, and if I miss the car, then I'm gonna be killed, and my high school boyfriend is cheating on me with my best friend, and I don't know. I have anxiety, and I don't recommend having anxiety during a global pandemic. It's a lot. I'm just tired.
I feel lucky to have been able to create a few things, put some intention into a product, and make something totally new that relieved me of something that was plaguing me that day, just in my thoughts, or maybe, worked towards something bigger that I'm hoping to work on in the future. And those have been really the moments of the greatest relief during this time for me, because I don't have to be accomplishing anything. I can just create, and it can be bad, and it can be whenever I feel like it, and it can totally disrupt my schedule. And I give myself that freedom, and that's when I find I can really enjoy whatever it is that I make. And I hope that people can find creative outlets, whether it's cooking some bread or, just doing things your own way for a good portion of the day, because everyone deserves that.
So, in watching the protest, one of the biggest things that continues to boggle me is the simple fact that in an age where we can literally put people into space, that we can dissect the human cell, that we can do all types of things, is that we have to have these protests. That there are people that still don't understand that fundamentally all people need to be treated equally. It boggles my mind that in 2020 we're still having to do this. Now, what does give me a lot of hope is this isn't a local thing or even a national thing. This is a worldwide movement now, where people are standing up and saying this is not acceptable anymore in any way. And that gives me a lot of hope. Hope that eventually we're not going to need to do these type things anymore. But in the meantime, it's scary that the protests, which are necessary, are going to continue to be necessary.
I'm going to say something that's probably a little selfish of me to say, but I have a cousin who works in New Jersey. She's a nurse. She works at one of the hospitals out there. And my selfish thought is that I kind of wish she wasn't working right now. As soon as Italy was reporting how their hospitals were getting overrun and they were talking about how scary it was out there, I was in immediate communication with her and asking her if she was scared and if she was worried. And at the time, it wasn't crazy here. And so she was like, it's fine. I'll we're going to be okay. But she was noticing that the PPE was already short. And that was what was annoying her, because she said that other nurses were hiding certain PPEs in their lockers. And then the bathrooms were locked because somebody was trying to hide the PPE in the bathroom. I don't know. But That was her biggest fear. And then as it got worse, all she was worried about were the babies. Because like I said, she works in NICU, and she was saying that they were sending the tubes from ICU to NICU, and that was frustrating her because they didn't have enough materials to take care of everyone. Fortunately, everyone in her hospital is doing well, so she actually thinks that we should be opening up. She doesn't see too much of the craziness. At her hospital, there's no one over 50 that's really affected by COVID. And I'm over here like, but do you see what's happening in New York? Like, just don't go to work. But she won't. She actually wants to go to the front line and get transferred to New York to help out because she is a very brave warrior. And I'm grateful she's my cousin and that people have her looking after them and their babies because she is the best.
Well, I'm angry. I'm angry because 5 of my friends have been affected by COVID-19, 3 of which, thankfully, have recovered. 1 is still very, very ill. She's been sick for a couple of months and she can't seem to shake this thing. And the 5th friend, Marianne Daniels, has died. And I'm angry because her death was 100% avoidable. You know, we have a president who took no action. Instead, he said it's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear. Well, it hasn't disappeared, but Marianne did. And so did 90,000 other Americans, 90,000 plus other Americans. So yeah, I'm angry. And it's time for other people to get angry too.
I think the most accurate information we're getting is from MSNBC and CNN regarding COVID-19. They're giving us the real facts and the real numbers of cases and where it's getting worse and where it's getting better and just all the things we really need to know. Also, our local Channel 1 has our governor and our mayor, and they do daily reports on what's going on locally. So we know that it's not improving greatly here. So the people who want to open early because they get their information from the White House shouldn't really be listening to them because everything that comes out of there is just totally wrong.
It's really hard to know who to trust for information right now other than scientists themselves. On the federal level, there's like nobody. Fauci, I'll listen to Fauci, but on the national level, there's nobody who's got it together. On the state level, there's like New York and Ohio have some good information. When we get to the local level, I am grateful for where I'm at in Houston, Texas, that we have mayor and folks on the county level who are doing well. But I hesitate to trust the news even because there's a little bit of a sensationalism playing up, even some of the ones that are more trusted. So I feel like I just got to go directly to the scientists.
So I was at a theme park celebrating my birthday the day that they announced that they were going to be closing it. At the time, it was going to be closed for 2 weeks, but obviously it's gone on a lot longer than that. I was always the type of person that was always positive and would always try and find the best in every situation and find the best in people. But now I seem to wake up every morning overwhelmed, sad, angry, confused, and not recognizing the world that we live in at all anymore. I've had arguments with friends that I don't even recognize them anymore, and I've become a lot more withdrawn. And quite honestly, right now, I really just want that girl back that was happy and celebrating her birthday and full of hope.
You know, for the past 15 years, I've pretty much been living my life a certain way, pretty much a day at a time, and by a certain set of principles and structure. So a year from now, I think in some ways my life's going to be exactly the way it is right now, but in some ways it'll be different. I'd like to think that we're going to be settling into a new president and a new administration. I hope so. I don't think our country can take another 4 more years of Trumpism and the corrupt dismantling of our democracy. Anyway, Work-wise, I will continue to seek ways to express myself creatively, whether it's as an actor or photographer. I will continue to be a substance abuse counselor. I guess it's just a matter of the circumstances of exactly how these things are going to show up. And I'm pretty sure because of the coronavirus, you know, the delivery of these jobs is there's going to be an impact on them. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like though. And then pretty much just continue to be of service where I can, shed light on inequities in this country and the world, and, you know, show up every day to the best of my ability and continue to try and be the best version of myself possible.
So I've been thinking how this experience has blown everybody's mind. And I think that everybody really should be focused on this one thing, and that is cultivating unity. Because we've been practicing divisiveness for so long. And what this experience is showing us is that we are connected. So what happens if we just accept the circumstances of here and now and learn whatever it is this pandemic wants to teach us about love, connection, and service? Yeah, I mean, imagine what it would be like if everybody's one focus was, how do I serve the next person? That would be amazing.
As we all went into our various shelter-in-place locations and became more isolated from other people, we also became more dependent on social media for our day-to-day interactions with other people. On a normal basis, social media is an echo chamber where we hear a lot of our own ideas and thoughts reflected back to us with acceptance from the people that we know. When we went into isolation, we lost the countering views that we would normally have from our coworkers and friends in person. And what happened was, I think a lot of people started to listen to what their friends were saying, what their friends were posting, as opposed to what experts and scientists were saying, and lost a lot of the logic and common sense that normally goes into our decision making. And I think this affected a lot how we were perceiving and dealing with the outbreak in our isolation.
I'm a storyteller and a story consumer. And lately I've been working very hard to expand the variety of voices that I bring in and experience so that I can open up and broaden my understanding of human life on this planet. And it's been great. It's opened my eyes in so many ways, and I appreciate and want to continue that. But right now, in this crisis, I'm clinging to Jane Austen and Tolkien, Shakespeare, the literature of my privilege, and the emotional truths that I find there in that familiar world, and the language brings me comfort.
When COVID-19 hit, like so many, my world was completely frozen, and I was plunged into this weird limbo state. It felt like we were living in an unreal movie. And I've always had this mentality of go, 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 always looking to the next project, and it kind of inhibited me from being able to really live in the present. So after a few days of kind of feeling in this weird limbo state, I started to focus more on what was right in front of me in my immediate surroundings, which included my family, my son, my wife. But it also allowed me to really look at my craft and be able to strengthen some of my weaknesses and get back in the shop and work with my hands and develop my skills. And these are things that I'll be able to bring with me into the future projects. So when all the dust has settled from COVID-19, that's the one thing that I hope I can bring with me, is that ability to be able to really stop and appreciate the moment, but also still being able to look towards the future.
I'm looking forward to booking travel again. and not canceling all these amazing trips that I planned for everyone that takes so much time and effort and love. I want people to travel again because I think that makes the world a better place. I want to go hug my friends in Italy and have a glass of wine with them and share a meal and be with them. And I want to be able to get on a plane anytime I want and see my kids and see their dad and hang out on the sofa and do nothing, or travel the world with them and do something. It doesn't matter. I just want to be with them whenever I want and not have to worry that I'm going to be bringing a disease to them or they're going to be bringing a disease to me. And we have to limit how much we hug and kiss and cuddle and talk face to face. I look forward to the day when all of us can do that.
When you're blue and kind of lonely too, you'll find a smile will go a long, long way. Though you're down, don't sit around and frown. A little smile will go a long, long way. Never grieve, just try to make believe the sky is blue, although you know it's gray. Don't you pine, it's just a waste of time. A little smile will go a long